IBM Think 2025, small models, big signals. Granite 4.0 tiny reframes the enterprise LLM narrative. At Think 2025, IBM didn't roll out a splashy multimodal demo or a massive billion parameter flex. Instead, it offered something more radical: restraint. The Granite 4.0 tiny preview isn't flashy, but it signals a sharp pivot in the language model conversation, from scale for scale's sake to strategic minimalism. At just 1 billion active parameters and still in partial training, IBM's smallest Granite model is already proving that an enterprise AI size isn't everything. Structure, interoperability, and trust are. This isn't a hobbyist demo or a placeholder for a bigger reveal. It's IBM testing a hypothesis that compact, open, efficient models can anchor real-world use cases in production, not just prototypes. Released under an Apache 2.0 license, the Granite 4.0 tiny preview is available to run on GPUs under $350, offering long context, 128K token, sessions, and competitive performance with 72% less memory usage than its 3.3B predecessor. While the full model is still months away, even this halfway trained snapshot is already challenging assumptions about what smaller models can achieve. At Greyhound Research, we believe this is not just a technical drop. It's a strategic move to decentralize enterprise AI, architecture that aligns with enterprise constraints. Under the hood, the model architecture signals significant innovation. Granite 4.0 tiny combines Mamba 2 and transformer blocks in a hybrid structure, using a fine-grained mixture of experts (MO) approach with 7 billion total parameters, of which only 1 billion are active during inference. The model removes positional encodings entirely, allowing it to process long contexts with consistency and control. IBM is betting that such architecture, optimized for interpretability and modularity, is better suited for enterprises navigating compliance regimes, latency budgets, and carbon ceilings. And this isn't just experimentation for the sake of research. According to Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025, 62% of global 2,000 CIOs have placed LLM right-sizing on their AI governance agenda. Many are walking back early deployments of bloated general-purpose models, citing both cost overruns and policy challenges. Of those surveyed, 71% now say they're actively exploring domain-specific, smaller models, especially in contexts like customer service, document processing, and internal knowledge retrieval. From openness to operability, IBM's move toward a more compact Granite family aligns directly with this shift. While vendors like Meta and Mistral have made similar moves in open-weight releases, IBM's focus is squarely on enterprise usage patterns, models that are compliant by design, auditable on deployment, and operable within existing regulatory frameworks. Granite 4.0 Tiny's long context capability, currently demonstrated at 128K tokens, is another deliberate design choice aimed at real enterprise challenges. Whether parsing lengthy contracts, ingesting compliance handbooks, or interpreting procedural documentation, context depth matters more than token variety in most enterprise workloads. And with full training still pending, the current preview is trained on 2.5T of the planned 15T tokens. Performance is expected to improve even further before full release. Greyhound field notes from Think 2025 reveal that CIOs and enterprise architects weren't just curious about IBM's smallest model. They were relieved by it. In one Greyhound field note, a senior architect from a Fortune 500 insurance firm shared that their organization had spent months attempting to fine-tune larger models for claim summarization, only to abandon them due to GPU strain and context collapse. What we needed, they said, was a smaller, more obedient model, one we could run and refine ourselves, not submit tickets to access. In another Greyhound field note, a government IT lead from Northern Europe praised the decision to release Granite 4.0 Tiny under Apache 2.0. We can't keep waiting for licensing discussions to clear just to evaluate a model. This is frictionless. This is usable. Their team had already begun testing the preview model for multilingual document handling, with promising early results on both throughput and latency. At Greyhound Research, we've long argued that the future of enterprise LLMs won't be dictated by model size, but by operational fit. The obsession with parameter counts has left many CIOs in a bind, choosing between model power and deployability. Granite 4.0 Tiny shifts the framing. Not how big your model is, but how much of it you can use, control, and explain. Efficiency that extends beyond hardware. In fact, 56% of enterprises surveyed in Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025 said they are actively working on AI model efficiency targets for sustainability reporting. For this group, running 175B plus parameter models on power-hungry GPU clusters is not just expensive, it's environmentally untenable. IBM's decision to prioritize efficiency per inference, especially on affordable consumer GPUs, gives these enterprises a feasible way to scale AI without scaling emissions. Perhaps the most telling takeaway from our conversations at Think 2025 was not about benchmarks, it was about autonomy. In multiple Greyhound field notes, AI leads expressed fatigue with AI strategies that require vendor lock-in, cloud-only pathways, or proprietary orchestration. Granite 4.0 Tiny, even in preview form, was seen as a symbol of rebalanced power, the ability for enterprises to host, adapt, and expand LLM capabilities without forfeiting visibility or governance. A model of control, not just capability. This isn't the future of AI. This is a course correction for the present. As IBM continues training the full Granite 4.0 family, the preview release of its smallest member signals more than just architecture experimentation. It signals a new direction, one that takes seriously the needs of enterprises navigating real-world constraints, real-world regulations, and real-world budgets. At Greyhound Research, we believe IBM's strategy with Granite 4.0 Tiny isn't to impress with scale, it's to empower with control. And in an AI market increasingly dominated by ungovernable architectures and unauditable black boxes, control may be the most valuable feature of all. What IBM is offering with Granite 4.0 Tiny is not another seat at the foundation model table. It's a blueprint for rebuilding the table altogether. One where enterprises get to choose the surface, set the rules, and own the outputs. This isn't just model transparency, it's operational sovereignty. And for CIOs facing a year where AI must finally move from the lab to the ledger, measured not in prompts, but in policy adherence, budget predictability, and integration realism, IBM's posture is refreshingly grounded. No grandstanding, no revolution. Just infrastructure that works quietly and compliantly. In 2025, the LLM arms race may still dominate the headlines. But inside the boardroom, the battleground has shifted. It's not about which model is smartest, it's about which model can be trusted to show up, scale down, and stay governed. That's where Granite 4.0 Tiny stand apart. And that's why it matters. Analyst in focus, Sanchit Gogia. Sanchit Gogia, or SVG as he is popularly known, is a globally recognized technology analyst, innovation strategist, digital consultant, and board advisor. SVG is the chief analyst, founder and CEO of Greyhound Research, a global, award-winning technology research, advisory, consulting, and education firm. Greyhound Research works closely with global organizations, their CXOs, and the board of directors on technology and digital transformation decisions. SVG is also the founder and CEO of the House of Greyhound, an eclectic venture focusing on interdisciplinary innovation. Copyright policy. All content contained on the Greyhound Research website is protected by copyright law and may not be reproduced, distributed, transmitted, displayed, published, or broadcast without the prior written permission of Greyhound Research or, in the case of third-party materials, the prior written consent of the copyright owner of that content. You may not alter, delete, obscure, or conceal any trademark, copyright, or other notice appearing in any Greyhound Research content. We request our readers not to copy Greyhound Research content and not republish or redistribute them, in whole or partially, via emails or republishing them in any media, including websites, newsletters, or intranets. We understand that you may want to share this content with others, so we've added tools under each content piece that allow you to share the content. If you have any questions, please get in touch with our community relations team at connect@thofker.com.